Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We're going to go to the Mid-Wilshire district of Los Angeles right now. We're going to talk with Ken-Atchity. He is a story merchant. We'll find out what that means. And he's also the head of Atchity Productions. He's produced many movies, The Meg, Angels in the Snow, Hysteria, The Lost Valentine, and many, many more. Oh, one with Ellen Burstyn. That was a TV movie, I guess.
Yeah,
Ken, welcome. Yeah. Ken, welcome to Late Night Health.
Well, thank you, Mark. It's great to be here. Thank you, Daryl. And I heard a lot about you guys from Devon, and glad to meet you.
Glad to meet you as well. The name of your book is My Obit, Daddy Holding Me. And on the cover, I am making an assumption here that your father, is holding you.
That is what it looks like. But if you look more closely, it's actually not holding me. And I always thought he was when I looked through this picture when I was a kid growing up, so much so that I wrote on the back of it, Daddy holding me. But then when I got older and started reviewing my view of my father, I looked at the picture again and realized that he really wasn't holding me. I'm actually standing in front of him, kind of leaning against his knee. And it's a long story, but it's the heart of the book. It's about my relationship with my father. And that's why I put it on the cover.
Relationships with parents are difficult at times. They're easy at other times. I had a very good relationship with my dad, but he went too soon. He died early. Daryl, your father passed early as well.
Yeah, when I was 17, he was 42.
Wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I was 30 and my father was 57. Still early. How about your dad? Was he part of your adult life as well as growing up?
He was. He lived a longer life, although he died prematurely, in my opinion, from lung cancer because he smoked all of his life. But we didn't have such an easy relationship until later in his life, later in my life. I was kind of taught by my mother to hate everything he stood for, because I guess she did on some level. And it was very confusing growing up looking for a father figure because I felt that he didn't really acknowledge me as a son. And it's the heart of this book. The second volume of my obit is my relationship with my mother. And it'll come out later this year, but there was more than enough for this book. We had a very complicated relationship.
Do you think that most people have complicated relationships? Most guys have complicated relationships with their dad in particular?
I do. I think it's very common. I mean, I have a cousin who I just found out as a result of this book. Some relative read this book and told me that her father, who was my cousin, was so afraid of his father that he never challenged him in his whole life, even when he was being really mean to his kids and his wife. He never once either criticized him or challenged him. He was so afraid of him. And it blew my mind. But I hear so many stories about uneasy relationships. And I think it's partly because when you're the first son, which I was, and others that I've heard from are, your father doesn't know how to be a father. I mean, now that I'm a father and a grandfather, I can tell you that, there's no manual that says how to be a good father or even how to be a father. And I think that's.
But you and I should write a book, How to Be a Good Grandfather.
Yeah, there you go. And right. I'm not sure I know the answer to that. Except to love and that's always been my mantra is love and support, and anything else is fine if you do those two things. Love, support, and communicate.
Absolutely. because of your relationship with your dad, did you make an effort to have a better relationship with your kids?
I did. Yeah, I did. I tried to do the things that my father didn't do. And I think it's worked. I have an unbelievable relationship with my son and with my grandsons, who are now, he has three sons of his own. And I have to say, he is the best father I have ever run into in my life. I can't believe how good a father he is. And if anybody should write that manual, it's him. At least the father manual. But yeah, I did, because we communicated all the time. No matter what happened, we were communicating. Even when he didn't want to communicate, there was a time when we had a rocky relationship for about a year or 2 years, but I kept communicating anyway, and I knew he'd be back. You know, I knew if you keep communicating with your family, they will be back. They may go away for a while, but let them go and let them come back.
The book is a lot of pages. It's a big book, folks. To boil this down, love and communicate with your parents and with your kids. Would that be the overall genesis?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair thing to say. I think, communication is a form of love anyway. And, I was a writer from the time I was a kid, maybe because of my relationships with my father and mother. But in any case, that's the rule. Even if you don't know how to love, at least communicate, because communication is a kind of love. And what is really hard to deal with is when parents don't communicate, can't communicate, and the kids are wounded. They're deeply wounded, and you never know what that wound's going to cause in later life.
You grew up in the South.
I grew up between Missouri and Louisiana. I was born in Louisiana because my mother's family was from there, South Louisiana, Cajun country. And I was raised in Kansas City, which is where my father was. But I lived the first few years of my life in Louisiana while he was off at war. And I spent every summer of my life there until I was about 16. And so, yeah, I'm really from Missouri by most people's standards. But growing up, I always felt I was from Louisiana because I was born in Louisiana.
Well, you sound more Missouri than Louisiana, right?
All right. Well, I'll take that.
We're going to be taking a break in a few moments. We're going to find out what a story merchant is all about. We'll also find out what a story merchant does with books and other kinds of communication. Movies are communication. TV shows are communication. Books are certainly communication. You can check us out at latenighthealth.com. That's latenighthealth.com. And we are on so many podcasting sites, podclips.io, Apple Play, Spreaker. I'm missing some, Daryl. I can't even think of them all.
Radio.com, Spreaker, Stitcher.
All of them.
Those, yeah.
And somebody recently told me we're actually on a Mexican podcasting channel, and we're the only English language program on it. I don't know how they got us. I can't even find them, but I digress.
That's exciting.
Ken and I, along with the insane Daryl Wayne, will be back as we talk more about my Obit, Daddy Holding Me, as Late Night Health continues. Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Allen. The show continues in a moment. If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.
Role models. They can make all the difference. In our world today, they have never been more important. One of the nation's most successful mentoring organizations is Jewish Big Brothers Big Sisters of Los Angeles. Their mission is to assist youth in achieving their full potential through innovative and impactful programs. And no nonprofit agency does it better. Jewish Big Brothers Big Sisters of LA serves Jewish children, boys and girls in our local community with a mentoring program that's been going strong since 1915. That's only the beginning. This nationally known agency owns and operates Camp Bob Waldorf. Its summer camping and weekend retreat programs enrich the lives of youth throughout Greater Los Angeles. Then there's a college support program, and last but not least, work that helps kids all over the world through the Teen Talk app. Want to learn more? Go to jbbbsla.org. Donate. Get involved. There's no better way to make a difference.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We're talking with ken-atchity, and the name of his book is My Obit, Daddy Holding Me. I want to talk about your story and publishing and writing career, but the title of the book has caught my interest. I know that you had a very long title that you wanted to do, and we don't have that time in an hour to say it. I mean, it's my intensely madcap Lebanese, Cajun, Jesuit, schizoid, terminally, and it goes on and on. My Obit. You saying goodbye to us, Ken?
Well, we all say goodbye eventually, but what started bothering me as the more I became a writer is that it really bothered me that somebody else would be writing my obit, which just didn't seem fair or right. So I thought, well, I need to do something about it. I'm just going to do it myself. And my favorite fairy tale growing up was The Little Red Hen. I don't know if you know that story, but I thought, I'll just do it myself. It's about the hen who wanted to bake some bread for her, for the barnyard, but nobody in the barnyard had time to help her. So she just decided she'd do it herself. And that's my view of this. I also thought, I'm not Frank Sinatra or, George Clooney. So what happens if nobody writes it? I need to write it myself to make sure that it didn't happen, because I think I've had a very exciting and excellent life. And I wanted to share that as part of my, communication.
It's not going to fit on a normal plaque or tombstone. You're going to have to build a huge mausoleum.
Well, we'll see. I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
Right now. So, but I've kept it in mind.
In the book, you talk about some of the celebrities you've met, and you also just mentioned that you've been writing since you were a kid. Is writing easy for you, or is it like pulling teeth?
Well, I've never been, a speechless person. And the great American novelist Walker Percy, one of my favorites, said once, perhaps the secret to speaking is having something to say. And I always thought about that. People say they have writer's block. Well, they just don't have anything to say yet. You don't have writer's block if you have something to say. But the secret, as I talk about in one of my books, A Writer's Time, is don't sit down and try to write before you know what you're going to write before you sit down. And so I've never had writer's block because I don't sit down until I'm ready to just pour it all out. I do it in my head until then, and then I just sit down and type it out. That's avoids the whole issue of writer's block.
Did you ever write longhand before computers?
I did, and I still do on rare occasions when I want to, do something more thoughtful, or when I'm actually thinking of the sections of a book. But mostly the computer is the handiest and kind of sweetest thing the brain has ever invented, because it's very much like the brain. Whereas if you're writing down in a pad, spiral notebook, the shape of what you're writing ends up being spiral or connected as in a pad. Whereas in the computer, it's like your brain, because any shape can happen in your brain, and it can change in 10 seconds. If you decide to change a character from male to female, that takes 10 seconds in your brain, not even 10 seconds, right? And a computer is the same way. You can just do a search and replace, and suddenly Harry is Mary. And that's why I love computers. They were the best thing ever invented. I used to use a typewriter. What I hated about that is that, you end up making a mistake. You have to retype sometimes.
Everything.
Yeah, the whole thing. It's crazy. I don't know how we ever did that. But
no, I agree. At the same time, I like to write some things longhand. It seems to imprint on my brain better.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but I'm not interested in imprinting on my brain. I'm interested in imprinting on someone else's brain. So I just want access to the fastest way I can write, because I type very fast, and it's nothing for me to write 10 to 20 or 30 pages a day.
Wow.
On a computer. I mean, longhand, God knows how long it would take.
You said something here, imprinting on other people's brains. And today the term, when you apply for a job, even as a host, as a TV host or a radio host, they want to know if you're a storyteller. And a storyteller imprints on other people's brains. Is storytelling at the heart of what Ken is?
Yeah, absolutely. I started listening to stories on the porch in South Louisiana, and I had some uncles who were riveting, and you didn't want to leave the porch except to get them a cup of coffee. And I had some uncles that the minute they showed up on the porch, people started leaving one by one, so they didn't have to listen to Uncle Ed's stories, which were interminable and boring and put people to sleep. And, whereas my other uncle, Wib, people wanted to listen to every single word he said. And I started noticing the difference. And the huge difference is the audience. It's speaking to the audience and not speaking to yourself or, reciting a poem by heart or anything like that. It's keep looking at the eyes of the people you're talking to and making sure that you're communicating with them. That's what a storyteller does. And all I do all my life is find stories, improve stories, sell stories to either publishers or Hollywood. And it's been a great life because of that. I love stories.
You've said several times it's a great life. We don't want you to go anyplace, Ken. I mean, I know this is an obit. I get that. But don't you have a lot more that you want to do and accomplish? You want to, you want to see the 3 grandsons have kids of their own?
Of course. I mean, I want all of that. As a human being, I love all of that. I have a bunch of projects. We just sold a series to a studio. We have a movie that's in casting. We're in the middle of shooting.
Don't tell Mark that. Don't tell Mark you have a movie in casting. He's going to step up.
We're available, Ken. Both of us. We can play dead bodies. I'd rather not. There's that story about the kid comes home from school and he says, "Mom, I've been cast as the husband in the play," and she says, "You go back and tell your teacher that you want a role that has a speaking part."
That is so true. I love it.
I had a friend that was in Hollywood Confidential. He played the dead guy under the house.
Oh my!
Under the house. I spent a lot of time under the house when growing up because Louisiana, the houses are not on the not on the ground; they're above the ground
because of the water table. Yeah,
and you would go under there for a lot of different reasons.
My mother spent after high school about 4 or 5 years in Louisiana, New Orleans, and I don't think we have relatives there anymore. But boy, the food there is great, and I have to say that our sister show, Mark Allen Cooks Your Dinner, Ken has agreed to come and cook something. I think we're going to do beans. We'll find out more about that. He'll be on our show sometime in April. Maybe around Easter time. Okay. Oh, we're running out of time. I just noticed that. I'm having a good time. Will you come back sometime, Ken?
Oh, I'd love to. You guys are great.
Well, we appreciate it. Listen, the name of the book, Volume 1, My Obit, Daddy Holding Me, by ken-atchity, and it's a great read. It's got all kinds of really interesting stories and anecdotes. I think you'll enjoy it.
Thank you.
We are out of time, and I thank you very much, Ken. I thank you, Daryl, for everything you do and all your comments today.
My pleasure.
And I thank you for listening. Be sure to join us at latenighthealth.com. I'm Mark Allen. Have a great week. Have a good week. And most importantly, have a safe and healthy week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
You guys. Bye.